All right, what's up, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, with Nate Lane. How's it going, man?
Going great, man. I'm having a great day, great Saturday. How's it going for you, bro?
Well, with the weather finally clearing up, it's not that bad, given it was pretty awful here with all the snow and stuff like that in Texas. So now it's finally clearing up. I'm pretty happy about it, to be honest with you.
That's great. Sounds great. Sounds like a good day for NASCAR then.
Always. So start me off with the very top. How do you feel about Kyle Busch and Martin Truex at the 11,000 range?
I really like Kyle Busch. I mean, he just starts so far back, starting 24. He offers us a lot of place differential upside. He's always been really good at these intermediate type tracks. Even been good at Miami. Over the last 3 years, he has the best average finish here, so he's done well at these tracks, and he just offers us a lot of place differential upside. You can get some fast laps as he goes through the field, and then maybe even contend for a win at the end. Truex, he looks good too, more as a lower owned dominator play. He has upside to lead laps as well because he's always been really good at these intermediate tracks too, but maybe not as much upside as someone like Kyle Busch because of how far up he starts.
Yeah, I'm much rather get to Bush compared to Truex because starting ninth is kind of scaring me. That's the only scary part of Truex starting there. I know he's good at these tracks, but starting ninth, if he falls, he's gonna fall pretty hard. I mean, but do you think he can get up where Hamlin's first and Logano's second? I'm not really a huge fan of that, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. He's only Truex for me is just only going to be a tournament play, a
Yeah.
deep tournament play.
Oh, for
I'll have
sure.
him in a few lineups, but for the most part, not going to be someone I'm focused around.
Yeah, most definitely. How do you feel about Chase Elliott?
I like Chase Elliott. If you
Yeah.
remember this race at Miami last year,
Yeah.
he was winning this race at the end of it, and then Hamlin kind of chased him down and passed him. So he led a
Yeah.
ton of laps. He's another driver who over the last few years has gotten a lot better at these intermediate tracks. So this is definitely a spot where he could succeed really good. I don't think he's going to have a ton of ownership because I think there's other guys around him, priced around him that are starting farther back, but he may have more upside in them just because I think he's a more talented driver and he's in just as good of equipment and he's done really well here in the past.
Yeah, I'm much rather go Chase Elliott than Truex easily. Honestly, I mean the $400 difference, it's a game changer for me. I know he's starting 11th, but he can easily lead laps here. He can easily jump up in front compared to Truex. But the guy I do want to talk about is Kyle Larson. I want all the pieces of Kyle Larson in this race. I mean, the history shows that he's great here. Starting 17th gives you PD upside. I'm all in on Kyle Larson as a dominator who can easily get you PD points and dominate this race.
Yeah, I mean, I like that a lot too. The one thing I'd be a little bit worried about is that he hasn't been in, obviously hasn't raced in a year, and that's going to be it's a little bit different for someone coming in with this no practice, no qualifying thing in their first year versus all these other guys having experience. So that does worry me a little bit, but still, I mean, he's been so good at this track. He's led
Yeah.
so many laps here over the past few years, and he offers us so much place differential. It's hard to pass that up.
Yeah, I mean, starting 17th, that's the game changer for me. Is if he was starting like 10th, maybe I wouldn't be so high on him, but starting 17th, that's a whole nother game change, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you there on that.
Ryan Blaney, I'm kind of iffy on. I wanted your opinion first on Ryan Blaney. I'm 50-50 on him.
Yeah, so Blaney last year at this track did really well, led a bunch of laps. I think he finished in the top five, if I recall.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
he
100%
like
on
yeah.
that. I know he led a lot of laps here, and then he was really good at those 1.5 mile tracks at the very beginning, early on in the season. But then towards the end of the year, he kind of just fell off.
He fell
So
apart.
that scares me a little bit. Yeah, it scares me a little bit. I don't know how he is going to be at this track. I mean, I could see him hitting that upside. He definitely has the potential to lead a ton of laps. He has place differential upside too, starting 14th. But still, I don't know if I call him like a core guy. I'd prefer to go pay up $300 for Larson. Honestly, just pay 300 less for Harvick too. I think they're
Yeah,
both
that's where I'm
upside.
kind of at. He's iffy, like 50-50 for me because 14th he can get you PD upside, and he was. I mean, history has shown he's done good here at these type of tracks, but he easily fell off that cliff. Which, I mean, he can either basically get you a top five here or basically just stay at 14th and not get you any PD upside. So I'm not really high on Ryan Blaney, but the guy I am high on is Kevin Harvick. I think he can easily dominate here. If he jumps Hamlin and Logano, this race is his, in my opinion. He can easily destroy everybody else on this race. Do you like Harvick or no?
Yeah, I love Harvick. I think he'll
Yeah.
win this race. He hasn't been the best at Homestead Miami over the last 2 years, but at every track similar, he's been great. He has the best average finish at intermediate and steep tracks. And when you look at laps led at intermediate tracks, it's not even close with him and everybody else in the field. He's most likely to dominate, in my opinion. I mean, it's not a guarantee. I don't know if he gets out to the immediately because there's fast cars in front of him starting like Hamlin and Logano, but Harvick definitely is going to be out front at some point in this race. And he's going to be leading laps, and he's definitely, in my opinion, like the favorite to win.
I'm not really too high on Brad Keselowski. Starting seventh doesn't really do too well here. I'm not really on him. I'm just full on baiting him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have a little bit of him just because he's done well at similar tracks, but yeah, he has not been good here over
This
the
is
past few years. Yeah, it's not. This isn't where he succeeds at.
Hamlin and Logano. So basically the deal is with them, I want Hamlin. If he can dominate this race and stay out front, I think he can easily win this and basically get you all the fast laps and dominator points. The thing with Logano is if he jumps him, then that's Logano's race. I think he can dominate this race whatsoever too. So it's a tale of two, like it's the tale of both drivers. Where do you think Logano can jump him early, or do you think Hamlin can basically stay out front of Logano? That's where I'm kind of 50-50 on with both guys. I like both of them, but it's just I would not play both of them together is my point.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. I would not play either of them together at all
Yeah,
because
no,
one of them's going to get the lead early and the other one's
exactly.
not. That's just how how the race is going to go. I think I prefer Logano just because I think Hamlin's going to get a lot more ownership.
I
I don't
think
think
so too.
Logano's going to be higher owned. Um, Everyone's going to play Hamlin because he won this race a year ago. He led a bunch of laps and now he starts on the pole, which
Yeah,
is like the best spot to lead laps from the beginning. So he's going to be really highly owned. It looks good because he did so well here last year and has done so well at tracks similar, especially last year. So it looks good. But Logano being lower owned, who's had very similar successes at tracks similar
mhm.
here, he's won here as well. I like that a little more. I think for tournaments, if I'm going cash, I probably play Hamlin, but in
Yeah.
tournaments, I definitely go Logano.
His ownership in cash is going to be sky high, in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
going to be, yeah, but in GPP formats, I'm much rather go Logano because I think he can get the early lead and jump him. But like I said, it can go 50-50. There's no basically nobody knows how this is going to go out with both those guys starting first and second. It could be a coin flip. William Byron starting 31st, I like it, but at the same time, he just doesn't do too well here. So I can think he gives you PD upside, but honestly, that price tag is kind of iffy to me. And when I can go easily down to Matty B or go up to Joey Logano. So I'm just kind of not really getting much of him. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have some Byron just because he does start far back and he's in good
Yeah.
equipment. He's driving for Hendrick. It's a good car, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'd rather pay 600 less for Reddick, who starts
Oh
four
yeah.
spots back, which
Oh
I
yeah.
don't understand why DraftKings made Byron more expensive than Reddick at all. That
That's
makes
what.
no
Yeah.
sense to me. Um, but Byron still, I wouldn't play Byron in cash just because I'd rather play Reddick in cash. But in tournaments, I don't have a problem with Byron. He still is on his best days is a top 5 driver. Normally around top 15 to top 10 driver. So if he hits that upside, hits that top 5, he's gonna be really good. But in cash, I want to go there.
Yeah. So Matty B, I definitely like him. He's in good equipment. He can do well here. 37th. That's a PD upside. I love him. I think him and I think he's a good pivot from Reddick. If you want to be crazy different, I wouldn't recommend fading Reddick, but I mean, ownership wise, $300 more for Matty B. I definitely don't mind that whatsoever. I definitely like him in tournaments for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Matty D looks good. He starts so far back, he can't really hurt you. I mean, unless he just wrecks lap 1, but
And I
he's
think the
gonna.
ownership is going to be key with him. I think that ownership is going to be crazy compared to Tyler Reddick because everybody's going to go to Reddick in cash games. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Reddick's gonna be highest owned player tomorrow.
which I mean, I don't blame
Uh,
you, but like I said, as a pivot in GBPs, if you think Matty B can jump him, that's the game changer, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. I agree 100% on that.
What do you think of Alex Bowman? Because I'm like,
I think Bowman's really interesting
yeah,
because Bowman's had a lot of success at Darlington and he
mhm,
won at California last year. And those two tracks are tracks you drive around the outside a lot. You just get around a track by riding close to the wall, driving the outside, and that's what Alex Bowman, or that's what Alex Bowman's really good at, and that's what Homestead Miami is. So
mhm.
Bowman's results here haven't been fantastic over his career, but he's still, I think he's like this. He is major upside play on this slate because he's definitely shown in the past to be a lap leader. Um, and in tournaments, I think he could get up there up front at some point in this race and lead laps and maybe even contend for a win. And there's not often do you have guys that are as cheap as him with that sort of upside.
Yeah, he's very sneaky to me because, like you said, at tracks like this, he's done well. I mean, history has shown he's done well, particularly here at this race. Not so much, but I think he can easily bounce back at 13th and jump a few guys and get you that PD, a little bit PD upside, but get you the fast laps. if you think he can jump him, because he's in a fast car. So he can definitely get you the upside there at 13th. Kurt Busch, I'm not playing Kurt Busch. There's no way I'm playing him at this race. Yeah, same opinion with you.
Yeah, he starts too high.
Yeah,
There's too many guys starting farther back around him.
no, fifth is not happening for me.
No.
Eric Almirola, how do you feel about him?
I don't think Field needs to get there. I mean, his ceiling just isn't that high. He'll probably finish in around the top 10, but there's other guys around him that have a higher ceiling with more place differential or just more finishing, like higher finishing upside.
Yeah,
So I'm probably not going to get a ton of him. I mean, he's fine. He won't hurt you, but I don't see the ceiling hitting.
I'd rather go to Austin Dillon, honestly. I'd like Austin Dillon at this race.
He's really good at Homestead. For whatever reason, both that team, Richard Childress Racing, is very good here. Him and Dillon, or him and Reddick have done well. And even when Daniel Hemrick was in this car a few years ago, he had a really good run. So this is a track where I think Dillon does well. 7th best average finish in the field at this track for years, which is really good. So starting 22nd offers this place differential upside, offers this top 10 upside. So I like that a lot.
I definitely like him, especially at this race. I think he can excel here and get you the value play that you need. Christopher Bell starting third. I know that's scary, but I like it a little bit. I think if he can get that jump, and he's done well here at tracks like this, and he shows to be in a fast car. I think he can jump, and if he jumps somehow Logano and Hamlin, there's your dominator points starting third.
Yeah, it's scary because he also has like the super low floor there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know he won last week, but I'm not 100% sold on him being like this next, great driver in NASCAR yet. I want to see what else he can do at like normal tracks. He's a good tournament play because he does have that dominator upside, but I think he's a lot less likely to hit it than a lot of other drivers. So
yeah,
you're risking a lot by going there, but the payoff could be very high.
It's a crazy GPP dart throw to be different, is my opinion. Not in cash, definitely not. But in GPPs, if you want to be different, really different, and just throw that dart that can hit, I don't blame you. I see the reasoning behind it. Is my point. Now down to the pit of awful value plays. So starting with Chastain and Briscoe, what do you think? 32nd and 30th.
I really like Briscoe. Chastain, not as much. Mostly just because I think Briscoe's a lot better driver than Ross Chastain, and he's in a lot better equipment. Chastain's car's fine, but I don't think his ceiling is as high. But Chase Briscoe could get a top 10. I think Chase Briscoe is going to be a very talented driver in the Cup Series in the coming years. We've seen him do well here at the Xfinity Series. He won one of these races last year in the Xfinity Series. He shouldn't have won, but he was a top 3 driver during that race. So I mean, starting 30, if he just offers us a ton of place differential ups. To be honest, Chase Briscoe is going to be somebody I'm on every single week until he really starts paying off because I know the talent's there. I know the car's there. He's just wrecked the first 2 weeks. Hopefully that's going to drive his ownership down. I'm hoping he's not going to be super high owned, but I mean, starting 30, if he has so much place differential upside, I know the talent's there. I know the car's there, so I want to get it.
Chastain, the history shows that he's not good here. He's awful here at this race. So I'd much rather go to Briscoe. Like you said, he's a good prospect coming into the game that I think can definitely pay off eventually. Bubba Wallace is the kind of the mystery man, in my opinion. I want to see how he does in this equipment and the drive. I want to see how he does basically here with basically a whole new format for him. So that car is what I want to see how it does here with that Jordan brand, and starting 19th kind of does scare me. So at 7,000, I'm not really getting to much of them.
Yeah, I'm going to take shots on him because I really think that car is good. I think it's basically a Joe Gibbs Racing number 5 car.
Mm-hmm.
That car is, I think it's going to, I mean, there's no way Denny Hamlin has a team and it's not going to be basically a Joe Gibbs car. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
However, Bubba isn't Denny Hamlin or he isn't Kyle Busch. He isn't Truex.
About to say,
he's a super talented driver. So I don't expect him to do it amazing, but I mean, I feel like he has potential to get a top 10. That at 7,000 is good enough for me. He's not safe at all, though.
He's a question mark, in my opinion.
More of an unknown. So we'll see what happens. I'll be taking shots on him, but I understand not wanting to go there.
Eric Jones, if he was in his normal car, I think I would have liked him, but now he's in Bubba's car. So, and starting at 18th, not really for me. I'm not getting to much Eric Jones.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, that car's not good enough.
No,
I probably won't get a lot of him.
What do you think of Stenhouse? Talk to me about him.
I think Stenhouse is interesting because no one's playing Stenhouse this week. He starts 15th, but he's, I think, a more talented driver than people give him credit for. And the 47 car for JTG Daugherty isn't that bad. He has, if he just kind of, moves up a few spots, maybe gets a top 12, somehow sneaks into the top 10, he should be good. And then, like, aside from the plate tracks, which obviously everyone knows he's really good at, but he's not been bad at these big 1.5 mile tracks.
For
If he
sure.
just stays clean, he does well. So I think he's a good tournament play.
Yeah, I think with the value that we have on this slate, he's in play for what he can provide with this upside that there is. Because there's not a lot of value, to be honest with you, on the slate that I like. Like I said from the beginning, this value is not the greatest whatsoever. Cole Custer, I'm not playing him at 10th. There's no way you can get me to play him at 10th. What about you?
I'm gonna play Cole Custer, and I don't like it at all. Oh, only because he's in Stuart Haas equipment, and I feel like that's gonna kill me every single week because he's in a good car. I'm just gonna be like, he can have a good race. He's in a good car.
Yeah,
He's not good though, but I mean, he's in.
I can't trust it.
Car. Yeah, if he just hangs around though, he should be fine. But yeah, it's scary. Tournament play only. I'm not like to play Cole Custer, but I'm definitely gonna have some shares of him, and I'm probably always gonna have some shares of him, which is super scary.
Ryan Newman, I think he can provide upside here at 23rd. I think he can definitely get it done for you at 6'4". I think if he gets the top at least 15, that the value is there, in my opinion, and he does well here at this track.
Yeah, the value is there if he gets into the top 15. I just don't think he's going to get into the top. We haven't seen him run well in like 2 years now, anywhere basically. I just don't. I mean, you can get there because he's starting farther back, and I think that might put his ownership up a little bit. But I'd rather go to Stenhouse, Custer, or Buescher. I just think they're better drivers at this point in their careers, and they have a better chance of finishing in that good spot versus Newman, who I think finishes 20 plus.
So, yeah, what did you think about Buescher? Because I'm not really on him at 12. That's scary to me, starting 12. I mean, I know he's good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't really want to play him, but just because there's not a lot of value, I kind of feel like I'm going to play some of these guys. I'd prefer to play Stenhouse or Custer, but Buescher does save you money and you can pay up somewhere else. He should be able to hang around, somewhere between 10 and 15 the whole race. And then if a late race caution or we get some luck and he finishes inside the top 10, he's gonna be a great play. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that he's like a smash play. He's guaranteed to do well because he's not. But there's a lot of things that could go. There's a lot of things that could go right that could end up making him do pretty solid. So we'll see. I mean, he's a deep tournament play only for me.
I'm not getting a Priest or Medell. I'm not doing it. 6th and then 8th. No.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
No, I'm Suarez definitely not.
Their cars aren't good enough. See, I kind of like Suarez. Suarez is not in the same car he was last year.
I'd rather get the Alfredo.
Driving for a different team this year. I don't know. I just think Suarez is a better driver than Alfredo. I think both of them are fine.
Yeah.
But it's just Suarez, he's in a different team. He's in a Trackhouse car, number 99. It's affiliated with Richard Childress Racing. We saw it run decently last week at the road course. He was inside the top 15 at points in that race. Now, that was a road course, not an oval. But, I mean, at $5,700, we're looking for value.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that car is – I personally believe that car is a lot better than what Alfredo's driving. I think Suarez is also a better driver. I could be wrong, but I kind of like Suarez. And then Alfredo, he's interesting. He has done well here in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah.
So that does make me a little bit interested. I wish he was starting a little bit farther back, but when you need value, I think he's fine.
And then LaJoy, 25th, I don't mind taking a shot on, or 2 at 25th. All 3 of these guys, I wouldn't mind taking a shot on Suarez, Alfredo, or Corey LaJoy for value if you really needed to deep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to have shots of them. I think I'm going to opt more for Suarez and Alfredo versus LaJoy because I'm a little bit worried about what the car LaJoy is driving. He's driving for Spire this year, and they have not been good at all in the past except for that fluke win at Daytona.
Yeah.
I don't see LaJoy. I feel like Alfredo and Suarez have more upside than LaJoy.
I think so too, though. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's an okay play, but I prefer the other 2.
Are you going any lower than LaJoy?
No.
Like Haley,
I never
Hoff,
do.
Pilecki? Nothing?
No, I never play those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I ever go to them is like a Pocono race or an Indy race where it's going to be green the entire race. There's going to a ton of laps to be led. Those are the only times I ever touch those guys. But here, no, I'm not interested.
Do you have any last closing thoughts, my man, before we get out of here?
I don't think so. I mean, just if you're playing tournaments, be sure to have some dominator potential upside. Like, don't just chase place differential because it's not going to get done at this race. It would have got done the last 2 weeks, but this is a whole different track.
Different ball game.
Yeah, that's really about it.
But
Play
yeah,
Tyler
man.
Reddick.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick, lock and load him. Lock and load a dominator. Pretty much go for a value in Stenhouse or somebody like that, and then go ahead and fill in the rest of your lineup. Is my opinion.
Yep.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming on and talking to me, man, about this race.
Yeah, no problem, bro. I had a great time.
For
To do this again.
Oh, for sure. All right, that pretty much wraps it up for us. Hit up Nate Lane on Twitter, DFS Prodigy here, and that's about it for us. Have a good one, everybody.